How's it going, everybody? This is Van Damage here again. This is the completion video for that guy behind me. Boom! The Big Ass Boombox. Still trying to figure out the name for it, but we'll see how it goes. If you've seen any of the videos I posted on the testing of different parts I have for it, you know exactly what this is behind me. Took me 2 days to actually build it. It's done. I'm finished. Other than the grills that I had to order because the ones that came with the speakers broke. So I got new grills coming in. I'll put those on there. Don't really think it's too important. You can't really see the sweet speakers with those on it. So this is how I did it. I hope you enjoy. Alright, let me get up and around here and describe everything as I built it. Alright, so here's the boombox. You can see it's a really large box. It's massive, it's really heavy, and I really love it. It's my baby. Just love it. So here's how it works. You have toggle switches, 6 of them, all up here, underneath my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What these do is, this guy here turns on the head unit down there. Boom, you can see it logging on, or booting up now. This guy right here, second switch, view meter. It's pretty sweet. It's got many different graphics on it. It's a touch screen, so I can touch it and change how it looks whenever it's playing music. And then this guy here, the really bright freaking LED light. This goes to the top left speaker, so I turn that on. This speaker right here works. Well, this is technically my right side, but when you're facing it, top left. This guy here, bam, top right. Bottom left, bottom right. So, head unit, view meter, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Might have said that backwards from the first time I said it, I don't know. Can't keep track of it. But, you know, I was able to install this. It worked first time testing it. I was very impressed. The only issue I had was whenever I did this guy up here on top, which is the charging port. I accidentally got my wires backwards whenever I was hooking everything up. So whenever I tried to charge it for the first time, it didn't work. I got an error message on my charger and basically started going through all the wiring, figured out the problem, and it was right from the start. So if you do any of these, always make sure that you figure out what goes where. Use voltmeters and don't get your wires mixed up. You can actually cause damage to different parts that you put inside your builds if you mix wires up and don't install everything correctly. So there's that. Luckily, the charger that I used is a UASA charger, and it has its own built-in safety devices. It has a 15 amp fuse on it, or I can't remember exactly what the fuse is. I want to say it's 15 amp, but it has a fuse on it. Inside here I have a fuse almost before everything, which is everything that's built into this, into the pieces that I use. So it has a lot of safety devices in it, so if something were to have happened, so if something were to have happened, it would have ended at the first fuse. And I might have only lost the batteries if it hadn't done that. But let me show you what's going on inside this thing. Like I said, it's really heavy, so if I don't fall over on it. One reason why I like this case is it has wheels. So the only thing I need help with moving it is whenever I'm going up and down stairs. Yep. But it has handles on all sides except for the bottom because that's where it sits on. It has clasps all the way around it, so I have a really tight seal. Nothing rattles on this, which is another reason why I love Pelican cases. And here's the monstrosity that is underneath the beauty. I'm going to zoom in a little bit with this, so just bear with me for a second. And let me adjust. Boom. Now you can see what's going on here. Oh, zoom in. Bam, focus. Okay. So, like I said, I have 2 batteries down here. This case came with pluck and pull foam. So, show you what I did very, very carefully. I plucked out the 6.5 speakers. The 5 1/4 fit on this perfectly. I don't have to worry about it. Here's where the head unit sits in. It actually, this plate right here gets very hot, so you have to be careful whenever you install this and you're using the foam. Make sure you have plenty of space between the actual head unit and the foam, otherwise you'll melt stuff in here, you'll catch it on fire, and it's just a bad day. So you do that, and this is where all the toggle switches go. So that's just the first layer. The second layer, which I'm not going to pull out just because that's where my batteries are sitting and it would be such a pain, but I can show you said batteries here in just a second if I can pick it up, because this is heavy. And there you go. You can see on the left and right, those are my 2 batteries. The exact same ones that I used on my other builds. The reason why I use those is they're fairly cheap. They have a lot of amp hours. You get 9 amp hours out of it. So if you're doing just a small build using like an auxiliary, cable, you'll get over 40 hours out of one of these batteries. On this build, I'm estimating about 8 hours. I might get more out of it because I didn't exactly test it to its full potential. But I was getting a really good power draw off of it. I wasn't draining them too fast. If you don't know what batteries these are, they are chrome batteries. They're 12 volt, 9 amp hour batteries each. So how I was able to wire these is, on these batteries, if you want double of the life out of it, you're going to have to wire it in parallel. So what that means is, you take the negative terminal on each battery, connect negative to negative, positive to positive. That will keep the same voltage on the batteries, but it increases the amp hours by twice what one battery would be. If you needed twice the voltage but the same amp hours, all you'd have to do is do it in series, which is negative to positive, positive to negative, and then once you have those connected, run the wires up accordingly, and you'll be good to go. Before you do anything like that though, always do your research on it. Make sure you know which one's positive and negative, and then connect accordingly. Use voltmeters, please do. I have the charging cable, or charging port, just attached right here. This is the wire itself, and here's the wire that powers everything. It's a 22 gauge wire, and that powers all of this stuff. It's awesome. So power runs up, and it connects to this 10 amp fuse right here. I just used regular wire connectors and plug the fuse in. It's the same thing as if you were to get a wire harness. If you ever look into the ones that you can put in line with any kind of electronic, it uses the same exact connectors that these little red guys right here. I don't know how well you can see that. I'll find out whenever I actually go and review this video. But it's just a normal connection, so you can actually just use these, connect it here, run the wires. Wires come up, power goes here. From here, it wires into this, which is what controls the VU meter, which is this lovely board right here. The way this works is I have it powered off of this and ground to everything else. Like, all of this is grounded to the negative wire on the negative terminals of the battery, so it's all grounded to the same thing, which is what you would find in any other electronic that you have laying around your house. In fact, if you look inside the camera that you use, or remote control, everything is grounded to the same thing, which is the negative terminal of the battery. So it works. In order for this to properly work though, you have to wire the positive input for the speakers into the VU meter. The way I did that, I just piggybacked off of the main wire that runs to the toggle switches and the speakers, and ran it to here. For the VU meter, you need 3 grounding wires for, the left, right channels, front and back, however it says it is on it. But once you get that wired in, it's good to go. Just turn it on, pick whatever graphic you want, and you can play it. And it works. Let's see, I got 10 minutes left. Cool. So that was fairly simple to plug that in. One reason why I like this is I can actually connect it up to my PC, and I can download more graphics to go on this. So I haven't done it yet. I haven't seen what's out there. If you're curious, it's actually an Evo R04. Evor 04, I guess. They're from Bulgaria, I want to say. That's the people that I ordered it from. So that was pretty interesting to get that box in, and it has, you know, different language written on it, and I didn't recognize it. I was expecting something else, and it was a different thing. So that was pretty nifty. I have a VU meter, or a voltmeter, not VU, that's VU, this is the volt. I have a voltmeter like on all my other boxes. It just tells me how much battery power is left, or how many volts are left on the battery. And you can actually watch it slowly drain down the higher you turn the system up. Which, fun fact, if you turn off a couple of speakers, you watch the volts go back up just a hair, because it's not drawing as much power, so it's not showing that power consumption anymore. But anyways, the speakers I have, these are DLS M369s, crossovers, and these are DLS M225s, crossover speakers as well. Now, if you get these kind of speakers, it comes with its own wiring harness, or not wiring harness, but wiring kit. This right here is two of the wire, excuse me, I'm forgetting where I'm at, but these are two of the wiring kits that come with the speakers. I have them just zip tied together. It's easier to just keep everything together, keep it out of the way. You can see I kind of ran everything around the head unit itself. I kept as much away from this plate because, as I said earlier, this gets very hot. You don't want it near the foam. You don't want it near your wiring because you could melt something and it could catch fire, and then your whole project is essentially ruined then, and it's a waste of money at that point. But you have to wire it in, all that stuff. I used the regular wiring harness on this. I know in my other video I showed you I had the RCA cables, but since I'm not using the amplifier there, I had no need for that anymore. So before you do something like this, this is why I'm doing this video also, because I can show you what I did, and you can take from it and get what I've used and build your own yourself, and not do what I did, which was go out, buy the amplifier, because that's what I did for my other two builds, and then buy a head unit, which made everything redundant. Made the amplifier redundant, and it just consumed all the battery power. But yeah, this is very easy to build. The hardest part, I would have to say, was figuring out where to throw all these wires, because I don't know how well you can see it, but I have a massive wire here, a massive wire here, a little bit of wires kind of chilling out over here, and it was just a pain trying to figure out where to run everything. I was originally going to run everything around the side, bring it in, and then connect everything over here, but then the wires for this didn't reach over here, and I just decided to kind of run everything together and up. But in all, it wasn't too difficult. It was just kind of scratching the head, wondering what the heck I got myself into. So, put this back together. In a video I'm going to shoot here in another minute, I will show you what the VU meter looks like whenever it's actually playing. If I can figure out where I had these wires kind of sitting earlier. But I love this build. It was very fun to make. Like I said, it's fairly easy to do. Oh, for the head unit, I don't remember if I showed you guys. I've had to do this video twice. I don't remember what I did in my last video as to what I've done in this video. But mounting the head unit, this is an old bracket from the head unit that I put in my car. But to mount the head unit, I didn't actually screw anything into this. The only thing screwed down is the VU meter and the 4 speakers. That's all that's screwed down onto this. The toggle switches were just drilling holes and then connecting it to it. So the head unit, I don't know how well, yeah, you can see this pretty well, but you can see these little cutouts here. These are tabs. All brackets for stereo head units come with these. It's recommended you use them. You can or you cannot use them. It doesn't really matter. I use mine just because it makes it a lot easier to keep everything together. But these tabs here, you can actually take a screwdriver, push from the inside out, and the flap comes out. And that's how I actually mounted the head unit. Nothing's bolted down. It's just straight up mounted like it should, like the bracket was intended for. So no excessive drilling, no excessive screws, all that fun stuff. It's a fun build. I'm happy with it. It was quite expensive. I won't tell you the price. If anybody's serious about building this, I will figure it out for you and give you a little heads up as to how expensive this will be. But that's it. If you have any, if there's anything I didn't cover, you can leave a comment below. I will cover it as best I can. Let you know what I did a little better and more detail. Let me. Is that? I don't know how well you can see me on here. Oh, let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. In case you're wondering what that noise was, that's the focus on my camera. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to do another video here in a minute and let you see how this sounds and how it looks whenever it's playing. I'll also go through the different menus and options on the VU meter. That way you can kind of see what it does. I'm really happy with that. It's everything that I ever dreamed of in a VU meter. That was really not cool. But, you know, as with any video, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to come up with some other projects to do. I've actually got, you know, different people that I know wanting me to actually start building these for them. So I'm going to start doing that. I will have little bits of little changes into how I build it. Different boards that I'm going to use for the voltmeter, or not the voltmeter. Voltmeter is going to be the same thing, but I'm going to have little different things I'm going to do as far as like the amplifier, Bluetooth. I'm going to try going with different things because somebody in one of my other videos actually showed me a website that shows you cheaper and more efficient parts that you can put in these boxes that aren't taking up near as much space as the ones that I'm using currently. So once I figure out how to build these a little bit better, I'm going to start mass making them. Yes. So, like I said, please comment below. I love hearing people's thoughts on these. Subscribe to my channel. Share the video. Share my video on Facebook. No one really uses MySpace anymore, but if you still use it, please share it on that. Share it on the Twitter. I still haven't figured out the Twitter. I opened an account, and that's as far as it went. And then I blocked it because I didn't want to get the updated emails from them because it was just aggravating. But, you know, share me on whatever media you use. Subscribe to my channel. Comment down, meow, not here, because there's nothing here other than my nice bright red shirt. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, if you have any suggestions to something that I could possibly build in the future, I would love to hear it. I mean, I can figure this out. I'm sure I can figure something out, you know, something you guys can come up with. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you'll spread the word that do-it-yourself can be achieved, and it's not very difficult. I figured it out. It's easy. So, like my channel, share my videos, comment below, let me know what you think, and I hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy. Bye.